What up, chat? Gang, gang. We in the lab tonight. We are in the lab tonight. I'm in a good mood. I don't even know what I want to talk about. Oh, yeah. I want to get this out here. I definitely want to get this out here. I definitely want to get this spoken about. I definitely want to get this talked about because I've been trying to get it recorded for a couple of days. And it hasn't been going the way I want. So, yeah, we're just going to start the stream with this hot take and this hot segment because, why not? There's going to be a lot of conversation over the next couple weeks and months about who to vote for and why you need to vote for these people. For me, that's not what I'm on. I'm always about what does the candidate offer me? You know what I'm saying? As the black man, as the black entrepreneur. Let me set this up. So yeah, so like I'm always wondering and questioning myself as the black man. So I'm always wondering and questioning as the black man, as the entrepreneur, as the businessman, as the father. When it comes to voting, one, I tell people this, and I'm going to repeat this: I will never, ever, ever, ever publicly disclose my position. You know what I'm saying? That's just not what I'm into. That's not what I would do. But I think if you guys are going to pivot with Joe Biden residing from the electoral race, we got to ask some questions. What does Kamala represent? Who does she represent? And what change is she going to usher in? Those are the questions that we need to be asking. But before we get to those questions, before we get to those moments, I got a clippage that I want to bring up. Now, y'all know me. I always double back. I did a stream once on Candace Owens, and I was kind of going ham. But listen to this clip. Check this out. Let me know what do y'all think, because it's kind of funny and relevant.
Not lean in to saying that they really do want Kamala, but even that feels a bit performative to me, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm starting to see articles creep out, and they seem like attacks on Kamala. Again, if we can go into our time machine and go back to 2020, well, every time that someone tried to interject the truth about Kamala, which is that she slept her way to the top. It's a fact. She was with some 6-year-old man, got her start in the political career. And they would go, oh my gosh, how dare you say this? That's so sexist. Well, then suddenly on July 6th, the Daily Mail actually published a headline about the fact that Kamala Harris was, thoughting through life. And they basically said she got her political start, her political upstart, because she was dating this guy, Willie, can't think of his last name right now. And he was married and he was in his 60s, and Kamala Harris was just a spring chicken. And that is how she entered the political scene. So she was not somebody who was a part of their ecosystem, but they tapped her in 2020 because they were like, oh, like the thing that we always say is that look at the Republican Party, it's so white and there's no diversity. And how are we going to be able to say that if we're running Joe Biden, who has been extraordinarily wealthy his entire life and whose son is becoming extraordinarily wealthy while smoking crack simply because he's doing dirty deals in Ukraine? So what are we going to do? We're going to hire Kamala Harris. We're going to select Kamala Harris to be the vice president. And he's the only person I can think of. And then we can sell. I know that when she was sworn into Congress, she was talking about how she's an Indian, but we'll just sell the people, like, forget the Indian side. Like, now she's back to black. And the streets are talking, ha, 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 ha. And that's what they did. So that is the only reason that Kamala Harris, they literally did not have another person that they felt could be the vice president and allow them to use the isms. You don't like her, you're a sexist. You don't think that she's amazing, you're a misogynist, deep-seated misogyny. You don't want this ticket to win. Is it because Kamala Harris is black? Kinda. I feel like it is. It's because you're a racist. So they just needed her to do the thing.
All right. Listen. It's another clip I'm gonna bring up in this, and that first part might be really nasty. Some people might be listening to this and watching this, and y'all gonna watch the replay and be like, "Well, What does that have to do with running for president? What does that have to do about what does she stand for? You got to understand people's morals. One of my favorite quotes from the infamous and the great Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent. When one of your best assets is your looks, you gon' do some hoe shit. You gon' do some hoe shit. You feel me? So let's pay attention. Wide chessboard here. Let's real life pay attention here to what's going on, and let's look at the facts of life, and let's separate the meat and potatoes of the story. Y'all need to make me understand, and I want to understand. I'm not going into this as a pessimist, as a as cynical. I really want to know why I shouldn't vote for Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is going to probably get the nomination, and he's probably going to be running mate, especially. But it's another clip I want y'all to pay attention to before we actually get started on the gameplay tonight, because it's just relevant. Like, y'all got to hear these perspectives. I have to hear these perspectives. I have to hear from people who are smarter than me. You have to hear people from smarter than you, and the people around you who are smarter than them, to really understand like what's going on here. We ain't even gonna get into the Mr. Beast aspect. We ain't even gonna get into the black woman who was shot, RIP, rest in power. We're not even gonna get into all these other bells and whistles that are moving around the sun of this election. We need to understand. I want to understand. And I don't want to speak for all black men, but the question needs to be asked: what does she stand for when it comes to me voting for Kamala Harris? But let's listen to this clip, because I think this is some bars right here.
I know you made a comment earlier saying that she don't claim her black side.
House Negro, just like Barack Obama, they do what they need to do to stay close to the white power structure. She made a career locking up black people. This is the same woman who went on international television, Art, let me remind you, about a year or two ago and said America is not a racist country. You want me to go vote for a so-called black woman who went on international television and told the world that America is not a racist country? She spit in the face of the family of Trayvon Martin. She spit in the face of the family of Breonna Taylor. She spit in the face of the family of Michael Brown, Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, Amir Locke, Dante. We can go on and on. Tamir Rice. All the Africans murdered by police, which are state-sanctioned executions. Let us be clear. The police are agents of the state. When the police kills a black person, that is a state-sponsored execution. And in response to all this racism, the execution of George Floyd, this part-time black woman says America is not racist. And when I say part-time, Art, I'm not poking fun at her because she's being mixed race. I want to be clear. I'm poking fun at her because she can rarely be found speaking up for black people. My issue ain't her being mixed race. Yeah. Nobody's responsible for how they come into this world. My issue with her is not identifying with her people. I remember another interview I saw with Kamala Harris, Art, and she said, somebody asked her, what are y'all going to do for black people? And she said, we can't pass laws just for black people. She said this, we can't do things just for black. Well, Kamala Harris, can I ask you a question, Madam Vice President? If the Democratic Party can't do anything just for black people, why did y'all pass a law only for Asians? Why did y'all pass a law only for Native Americans? Why did y'all pass a law only for transgenders? Why did y'all pass a law only for LGBTQs? Why did y'all pass a law only for immigrants? If you can't do anything just for black people, this is what she said. It came out of her mouth. If you can't do anything just for black people, how was it possible for you and President Biden to do all these other things for specific ethnic groups in this country from whose benefit no other group can take anything from? Complete contradiction. Kamala Harris is not for black people.
Big gang bars, big gang bars, big gang bars. All right. I gotta ask, as we close the opening segment of the stream, as we get into the gameplay, I want to know someone to educate me. We can actually have the conversation, because explain to me what Kamala Harris definitively represents. What does she want to do? What reform is she gonna bring? The only thing I've seen of her in the last 4 years is walking and taking pictures. I just now heard her start to speak and talk openly. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hate on her. I'm not trying to be a hater. This ain't even no political ass show. But I'm not gonna let y'all badger me for the next weeks and months about you don't get it, you don't understand. As a black man, you wrong. It's like I've been saying, if y'all gonna scream Drake is not like us for the last 6 weeks, y'all damn for sure got an answer for this. If Kamala Harris is saying she not black, how do black women say she represents us, so she black and you should just vote for her just for GP? What the fuck kind of logic is that? Where do they do that at? How are y'all this dumb and this lost? I am so confused. But I'm just a YouTuber. I'm just a streamer. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. Let me know. Run up the reactions. You ain't even got to tell me who you're going to vote for. Just let me know what she represents. That is the question of this video. What does Kamala Harris represent for black people?